Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Now, I promised you guys in South Africa, I promised you guys in North Africa, East Africa, and West Africa, like South Africa, Liberia, where else? Kenya, Egypt, all you guys, Algeria, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast. I promised you guys that I would do a live stream early in the morning so you guys can join in. A lot of you got, Africa, when I do the live stream at night, the folks in Africa, they have to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning to watch the live stream. So look, here we are. It's 9 o'clock Bogotá time. So I think it's probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Cape Town, etc. Mr. Nahas has joined us. Mr. Nahas, good morning. How are you? Congratulations on your visa approval. Great news. We're glad to hear that. I really get kind of really down and distressed. Well, I don't get down. It's just not good to see folks who are stressing out through this process. Okay, don't stress the process. Try to stay calm, try to stay relaxed. And hopefully, Angieka in South Africa, hopefully this is a better time for you to join us on the live stream. It should be around 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Cape Town. And Mr. Naha says, thank you, no problem. It was good to see you get that approval for your beneficiary. And now hopefully you guys can get married. GLK Dog 01. Hey, Diego, I just got my appointment in the Dominican Republic for February for my fiance. Well, that's great. So you're going to have the visa interview will be in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. And remember, GLK Dog 01, you don't have to translate any documents into Spanish or into English, excuse me, for the embassy in Santo Domingo. Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, you don't have to get documents translated. The same for Colombia, Bogotá. Mr. Naha, SIAC web says approved. What should they say next? Well, if your visa's approved, then you're good. That's it. You're good. Did you get the visa in the passport? Ruben Torres, good morning, Diego. Can you explain when the Interpol certificate is required, please? Sure. Let's go over the Interpol police certificate. Now, I don't care what country you live in. Let's say you are from Ghana and you live in Germany, okay? And you've been living in Germany for a year, 2 years, but you're a citizen of Ghana with legal residency in Germany. It's a possibility that the U.S. Embassy in Frankfurt, Germany, may ask your beneficiary for an Interpol police certificate. Okay, so you get the police certificate from Ghana, and then you get the Interpol police certificate from Germany. Let's take, for example, Karina. Okay, Karina's from Venezuela, beautiful Venezuela, and she's been living in Bogotá, Colombia for 5.5 years, but she's a citizen of Venezuela. Well, because Karina was living in Colombia for 5 years as under a protective status cedula. Venezuela is a communist country ran by a dictator, so she got out of there with probably 95% of her family and relocated to Colombia. And because Karina's been living in Colombia for longer than 6 months, she had to get an Interpol police certificate. And we didn't know that. Okay, I thought I knew everything about K1 visas. I thought I knew everything. And there's no record in the list of instructions. When Karina got the list of instructions from the embassy, it said police certificate. It didn't say Interpol police certificate. So we just got we got the police certificate from Colombia, and we got the police certificate from Venezuela. When she went to the visa interview, she passed her visa interview. They gave her the white sheet of paper that said, your visa's approved, but we just need this Interpol police certificate. And it took 3 weeks to get it. And we got it a couple of days ago, and I sent it to the embassy. and now we're just waiting for the embassy to process our visa. Mr. Naha say took it last Friday. Okay, they took her passport, but didn't send it back. No, they're not going to give it back. They got to put the K1 visa in the passport. They got to process the K1 visa and put it in the passport. They got to process it. When the visa has been processed, you'll get an email saying, "Come pick it up wherever it is." Wherever you set the courier to pick it up. GLK Dog, thank you for all your help. No problem, GLK Dog. And Ruben, do you understand the Interpol police certificate? Karina's Venezuelan, living in Colombia. The Colombian police certificate for her wasn't sufficient. The U.S. Embassy wanted an Interpol, which is basically a check of every place in South America, every place in Central America, even North America. They wanted to see if she'd ever been to the USA before. They wanted to see, and the only way to do that is with the Interpol police certificate. Ruben, if you're not living for more than 6 months, what happens? If you are not living for more than 6 months, what do you mean if you're not living for more than 6 months? Well, that's not good. You got what? You're sick. Or do you mean? Oh, you mean you're not living in a country for more than 6 months? Then you're a tourist. Then you don't need a police certificate. If it's less than 6 months, you're considered a tourist. Okay. Hi Diego. Thanks so much for your valuable information. No problem. Can you clarify if the petitioner needs to include my official birth certificate or a copy in the I-129F? Never send any original documents in the I-129F K1 visa package. Do not ever send original documents. Never. Okay? But when you go to, you make a copy of your birth certificate. But when you go to the embassy interview, in your home country, then you must have the original birth certificate in your hand, immigration plus a copy. So when you send your K1 visa package to the lockbox in Louisville, Texas, do not put any original documents in that K1 visa package. But when you go to the visa interview at the embassy, that is when you need the original documents, the original birth certificate, the original I-134, the original police certificate, the original certified copy of the divorce decree. Okay? So now, GLK Dog 01. Hey, Diego, are you going to continue doing live streams for the adjustment of status when you and Karina get to the United States? Yeah. When we get to America, we're going to get married on the beach, on Navarre Beach. Captain Bill is our wedding officiant. He's waiting and waiting and waiting, just like we're waiting and waiting and waiting to get to Florida so we can get married. We'll make a video of our wedding, and I'll make a video of the wedding. I'll get my nephew to do it. He needs something to do, and then I'll do the adjustment of status paperwork for Karina, and I'll make a video on exactly what I did for Karina. Okay, on how to do the adjustment of status. But we'll make that video in my office in Florida. It's hard for me to do videos here in Bogotá. You got street noise, you got fire trucks, you got ambulances, you got a mattress store down below that sells mattresses and furniture. And then they turn that music on full blast, and then I get a copyright strike on YouTube. So it's kind of hard for me to make videos here. So bear with me, okay, guys? When I get back to Florida, when we get back to Florida, nosotros viaje en Florida. This is correct?
Cuando viajemos.
That right there. Then I'll make videos, because in Florida, in my office, there's no street noise, there's no fire trucks, there's no stores selling stuff. Shiku Dumboya. Hi Diego, good to see you again. I have a question. Tengo una pregunta. I'm trying to book my visa interview in Sierra Leone. Okay. Every time I try that, they keep telling me there are currently no appointments available. Please help. Okay, please help. Keep telling me there are currently no appointments. I don't see nothing, just the messages. What am I supposed to do? Here's the deal. You got to keep looking every day. Every day, every day, every day. Keep looking, okay, for an appointment. I got lucky when I logged on. I paid the visa fee. I got lucky. There was one appointment open in Bogotá for November. One left. And there was one appointment for the biometrics. One. Boom. I took the biometrics appointment. Boom. I jumped on there and closed out that day. And I was the last person to get an appointment for November 2023 for Colombia. So what you got to do, people are getting K1 visas in Sierra Leone, okay? They're getting visas, they're getting their K1s, put in their passports. They're getting appointments, but you have to keep going and checking and looking until you can find an open slot. Let's suppose somebody decides to cancel. They want to change their visa interview to a couple of months in the future. Something happens. That slot will open up and you might see it and you jump on there and get it. All right. So keep looking, Shiku. C, is a copy of the beneficiary's birth certificate required for the I-129F or only the petitioner? When you file your I-129F petition for a K1 visa, you make a copy of the beneficiary's birth certificate and any children and include it in the K1 visa package. And then you write on the cover sheet, item number, whatever, 67, whatever, copy of birth certificate of beneficiary. Okay? You got to have a copy of the birth certificate, not the original, just a copy. The sponsor has to prove U.S. citizenship. So when the sponsor files the K1 visa, he or she must prove U.S. citizenship. That can be a copy of his or her birth certificate, a copy of the biographic page of his or her passport, or a copy of the his or her naturalization certificate or certificate of citizenship. Very important when you file your K1 visa, I-129F paperwork, that you include proof of citizenship of the sponsor and the copies of the birth certificates of the K1 and K2 beneficiaries. Just a copy. San Basila, hi Diego. Is it normal for the embassy to return I-134 after the interview? Sure. The embassy will look at the I-134. They'll either keep it, okay, and later they will shred it. All they want to know is, do you make enough money to support your beneficiary? How big's the family size? They want to know how big is the family and how much money do you make, Mr. Sponsor? They'll look at the I-134. This is good. This is good. You signed it. They might give it back to you. Very rare that they do. I mean, they took Karina's I-134. I filled it out in Florida, signed it, dated it, and brought it to Colombia and gave it to her, and they kept it. They probably scanned it, put it in their computer database, and then they shredded the paper part. Shiku Dombaya, it is frustrating to wake up midnight to check for appointment every day. I know, it's not easy doing this. I thought Sierra Leone will not be busy, but there is no problem. They're busy. Okay, the busiest embassy in the world is probably Bogotá Colombia. You know, this embassy here is busy. They're probably the busiest the busiest embassy in the world. They're taking care of Venezuela. They're taking care of Curacao. They're taking care of people from, you know, other countries that live in Colombia. So they're busy. My advice is to keep checking on the website, keep looking, and you will get a visa appointment. You'll get one. They're processing K1 visas in Sierra Leone. Miguel, Diego, I am stressing over wedding plans. What's your advice? What do you mean you're stressing over wedding plans? Do you have a wedding officiant? Our wedding officiant is Captain Bill is our wedding officiant. I've got a stack of emails like this to him over the last year, planning our wedding on the Navarre Beach. And his question, he keeps asking me, well, he's not asking me any questions. He's basically saying, when Karina gets here, I'm ready for you guys. We're going to get the wedding done on the beach. I got all these emails. I printed all those emails as with their wedding plans. Okay. I emailed the courthouse in Santa Rosa County. I said, hey, how do I get a wedding? How do I get a marriage license? What's the process to get a marriage license? I know the process to get a marriage license, guys. I know how to get a marriage license, but I sent an email to the courthouse and said, what's the process? And they emailed me back and said, you can do this. You can go online and do this. And then you pay for the marriage license, and then you can wait 3 days, and then you can get married anywhere in Florida. There are 67 counties in Florida. And I got all these emails. These are wedding plans, guys. I printed all of them. I got them all printed. I gave them to Karina, and I said, if the consular officer at the embassy in Bogotá asks you for wedding plans, you got like 20 emails between myself and the wedding officiant and the courthouse. Those are wedding plans. When I sent an email to Captain Bill, I said, look, we'd like to get married on Navarre Beach, maybe under the pier, on the pier, close to this restaurant. Business is going to be an informal, so it's not going to be like a suit and tie affair on the beach. All these emails I sent back and forth to Captain Bill, so he knows what the dress code is. He knows what restaurant we're going to eat in after we get married. And I printed all these emails, guys. Those are wedding plans. Okay, it's easy to do. Let me see. I hope that helped you with the question on wedding plans, Miguel. That's my advice to you. You got to prove with evidence communications with the people that are going to conduct the wedding. Bud Garcia, good morning, Diego and Karina from Washington State. What's up, Bud? So Washington State, what are you guys about 3 hours behind, right? So what is it, like 6 o'clock in the morning there? 6 o'clock is my guess. Mr. Nahas, every paper they took, they will put in the closed envelope. Okay. Except for the passport. You're going to need the passport to fly to America. Everything's going to be put in the sealed envelope but the passport. Jason Mabry, NBC to Ghana embassy shows in transit. Wow, very good. I have sent many emails with no response, being in transit for a month. Well, it takes about 2 to 4 weeks to ship a visa package from New Hampshire to Ghana. So that's normal. Give it another week, okay? Give it another week. Bud Garcia, how can I have the wedding plans if I don't know when she will be here? What can I do to prove it? I have no idea what day Karina is going to land in the United States of America. I don't know what day it's going to be. But a year ago, I sent emails to Captain Bill, our wedding officiant, and I said, look, Karina, my beautiful prometida, here's her picture. We're going to get married in Florida on Navarre Beach, either on the pier or under the pier or close to the pier. And then we're going to go eat at this restaurant. We don't know what day we're going to get married because we have to still get this K1 visa approved. But when that visa gets approved, we still don't know what day we're going to get married because we have to get the visa in her passport. Then I will know the day. When the K1 visa is put in her passport, I'll buy plane tickets from Colombia to Florida, Bogotá to Miami, and then I can plan the day. I can't plan the day right now. Today's December 12th. No, excuse me. Everything's backwards in Colombia. It's in Latin America. Today is the 17th of December, 2023. We still don't know the day we're going to get married. But I emailed the embassy with the Interpol police certificate, and I said, look, we want to get married on January 10th. Can we get our K1 visa processed in the passport so we can continue with the January 10th wedding date? Okay. Does that mean we're going to get married on January 10th? No. We don't know the exact date yet. We don't know the exact date. You just got to have evidence of email communication between the wedding officiant and the courthouse or your pastor or your church, etc. That's it. Mr. Nahas, correct. Accept the passport. Right. That's correct. Now, I hope the light's okay, guys. I hope you can see us because I left the curtains open here, and behind us is the mountains of is the mountains. We're surrounded by mountains here in the Andes Mountains in Colombia. So I hope the light is okay. Let me see. Francois Livingston. Good morning, Francois. Good morning from New York. It's 9:17 a.m. here. Quiet morning till YouTube alert me about the live chat. Yeah, I promised the folks in Africa yesterday, the people in South Africa, North Africa, East Africa, West Africa, they get up at 2 o'clock in the morning for the live stream. So I promised them yesterday I would do a live stream early this morning so that they didn't have to, so it would be like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon in Africa. So they can be eating their lunch or eating their dinner and join us on the live stream. The world it's interesting how the time zones are created. It's amazing, the time zones. Florida's got 2 time zones. They got Eastern time and Central time. Bud Garcia. Okay, so talk to the person that is going to do it and get emails from him. Should get wedding invitations. Yeah, get wedding invitations. I bought wedding invitations. Okay, I think it was their Hallmark cards, and I put them on my credit card. Then I printed my credit card bill, and I highlighted on the credit card bill the invitations. It doesn't say wedding invitations, it says invitations. And I highlighted it. I gave that to Karina as evidence of planning our marriage. Wedding invitations, okay? Credit card evidence. Buy wedding invitations. Don't book a room. Don't book any place. Don't pay for an event at a location until you get the visa and your passport. Okay. But if you listen to me, if you follow my advice, like I just said, and do what I said, and print all that evidence, you will be perfectly good and perfectly fine having proof of a wedding in place without a date. Let me see. Bud Garcia. Okay, so talk to the person that is going to do it and get emails from him. Should I get wedding invitations? Yes. Buy some. Buy 50. Francois Livingston. As far as wedding plans along with the K1 visa application, I sent a copy of email correspondence between myself, where we would like to get married and who we would like to marry us. Very good. Learn all this by listening to this channel. Francois Livingston, you did a fantastic job by getting that evidence and including it in your K1 visa package. That means when you go to the visa embassy, or when your beneficiary goes to the visa embassy, they are probably not going to get asked questions about what are your wedding plans, because they would have already read it in your K1 visa package that you sent to Louisville. I did the same thing. I included like 10 emails between Captain Bill and myself in the K1 visa package. I put pictures I printed pictures from Facebook of Karina looking at wedding dresses in Bogotá. She was in Bogotá with me, and she's looking at wedding dresses, and woo, wow, 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 wow. I took a couple of pictures of her looking at wedding dresses. I posted it on Facebook. All of the friends on our Facebook page liked the picture. I printed the Facebook picture with her looking at wedding dresses, and in all the comments, hey, Karina, that's a beautiful wedding dress. Which one are you going to buy? That was all on Facebook. I printed that page and put it in the K1 visa package. That Facebook picture of her looking at wedding dresses with 20 plus or 30 plus likes and 10 comments from different people on our Facebook account that said, wow, that's a pretty wedding dress. Did you buy that one? She didn't. She was still looking for a wedding dress. But that was evidence of a wedding in process, of a plan. You got it? I'm trying to help you guys, okay? Now, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't work for USCIS. I don't give you any legal advice here, none. But I give you this information for free to help you get your K1 visa. So if you haven't filed your K1 visa yet, if you follow the channel, when you file it, the chances are, if you listen to me, you won't get an RFE or a denial. You'll get an approval. So Francois says she learned all this by listening to this channel. This is your channel, guys. Momo Call. That's a neat name, Momo Call. Hi, Diego. Since September 27th, 2023, I got ready status. September. Almost 3 months haven't been contacted by the U.S. Embassy in Monrovia, Liberia. Okay, you got to stay in contact. You got to keep your K1 visa active. And the way you keep your K1 visa active is by emailing. So send an email to the embassy in Monrovia, Liberia. Check in with those folks. Check in with them. This is Momo. I'm checking in. This is my case number. This is my invoice number. Please give me an update on my K1 visa process. Print that email, and that is evidence that you have communicated with the embassy, which will then keep your K1 visa active. Okay? You got to keep contact with the embassy or the MVC. Jason Mabry, I was confused about the FTP letter because it stated MVC has set the interview date. I don't think that's how it works, right? No. The MVC only schedules visa interviews for spousal visas. So if you're married, going through a IR1, CR1 visa, the MVC will schedule the interview. If you're in a K1 visa, you have to set the interview. And the FTP letter, you must print the FTP welcome letter and give it to your beneficiary. You can send it in a scanned email, PDF or whatever, and she or he will print the FTP email and bring it to the medical exam as proof that you are in a K1 visa. When the embassy in Bogotá sent me when the MVC, sent me the K1 FTP email welcome letter, I printed it. And then in my office in Florida, but I knew I was coming to Bogotá, so I put it in my bag, in a document protector. Karina took that document plus the list of travelers email to the medical doctor and said to the secretary and said, "Hey, here's my MVC welcome letter. Here's my list of travelers." And the secretary scheduled Karina's medical exam. It was like 5 days before her visa interview. It was kind of pretty close, but we got that done. Let me see here. Bud Garcia. Okay, thank you very much for all the information. You have been spot on with everything you said. Bud Garcia, this is my second K1 visa. Plus I went through spousal visa. I've been through it 3 times actually over the past 8.5 years. And you kind of learn stuff as you go. The first time I processed I went through this process, I didn't know what I was doing. I got an RFE, but I learned from it. And then the second time, I knew exactly what to do without making any mistakes. And we got our K1 visa approved first time right off the bat. Francois Livingston, Karina, I hope it's okay to say, but you are such a beautiful woman. Francois Livingston, tú muy hermoso, mi amor. Let me see here. You are such a beautiful woman, and you and Diego are so lucky, muy suerte, and fortunate, and more unfortunate to find one another. Oh, you can let me tell you, I'm the lucky one, guys. Wishing you both a lifetime full of happiness. Well, thanks, Francois. And Karina's hugging me real close now because you said those real nice words, dulce palabras. Thank you, Francois. Yes. We appreciate you, Francois, also. And Francois, we're going to get you your K1 visa. We're going to help you through this. You're going to get through it. You're going to be relaxed. You're going to get the visa. And your beneficiary is from Morocco, right, in Abu Dhabi. We're going to get you through this whole process and get him to New York. And then when he gets to New York State, okay, I'm going to ask you to leave New York State. Don't leave right now and move to another state where you don't get taxed so much for your hard work. It seems like the government of New York take 80% of everything you have worked for because they feel entitled to the fruits of your labor. And I don't like that. And I say that because I used to live in Staten Island a long, long time ago when dinosaurs were roaming around. Okay? And back then it wasn't so bad. But today, New York State, it's basically a Marxist communist dictatorship. Honestly, my opinion, if you live in New York, if you're offended, I'm sorry. But my opinion is I lived there back when it was free. Now it's not free. If you want to go across the Verrazano Narrows Bridge in New York, you got to pay $27 one way, or $30. And now they want to make it even higher, $50. People don't have that kind of money. $27 is $27. Freedom of travel should be freedom of travel. Francois, don't move until you get married and then get your green card for your beneficiary. Then get out of New York State. Get out of there. Let me see. Jason Maybury. To help people asking about proof of wedding plans, I paid for the wedding venue with no set date. Okay, you can do that. And added the receipt. That's good. Now, I wouldn't do that personally, but that's strong evidence. And you can pay for the venue. Don't put a date down. Say it's an open-ended day because you're waiting for the visa to get approved. I'm not saying you should do it or shouldn't do it, but that's okay. That's a good thing. Argali TV. Good morning, Diego and Karina. I am sipping on some Cafe Bustelo. Okay. Do you drink coffee, Diego? I drink Karina's coffee. Cuando Karina preparando café para mí, yo bebo. It's good. Question. My fiance updated intent to marry letter in Spanish. My English. My is in English. Okay. Which country? Ugly TV. You got to remind me which country again. Tell me which country. But if your beneficiary doesn't speak English, then she needs to write the letter of intent to get married in her language. Karina doesn't speak English or write English or read English, so she wrote her letter of intent to get married the second time in Spanish. Bud Garcia, I got my NOA 2 on October 20th. When should I inquire to the NVC? Okay, I would say after Christmas. Let the NVC have their Christmas. They're going to let them have their Christmas. So I would say the 28th or 29th of December, send them an inquiry. Francois Livingston, we don't want a big wedding. No, we don't either. My brother's friends, my best man is Michael. He's been a great help to me watching our house while I'm in Colombia. He's going to be there. It's not going to be a big wedding. We would rather spend our dinero on a honeymoon getaway. That's good. You thinking like me, Francois. Exactly right. Hope it's okay not to invite the whole town and go bankrupt. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Francois Livingston, I had a very emotional and very physical abusive first marriage. So it's a blessing to find a man who treats me like I matter and like a queen. Karina is my reina. Karina is mi reina aquí. She is mi mundo, mi vida, todo. Todo. Mi corazón siempre para Karina. My heart is always going to be with Karina. So I'm happy for you. We have known each other for almost 2 years. Well, almost 2 years is 2 years, okay? So 2 years. Let me see. Ugly TV, okay. In the Dominican Republic, you don't have to translate any documents into English. So if your beneficiary wrote her second letter of intent to get married in Spanish, that's good. Make sure she brings that original document to the embassy interview, but you don't have to translate it into English, okay? I just saved you $25. How about that? I saved you $25 already. Angieka, good afternoon, Diego and Karina. Now, Angieka, good afternoon, Angieka. Angieka is in South Africa, right? And yesterday, Angieka got up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, I think it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to join us on the live stream. And I promised her I would do a live stream early in the morning here in Bogotá. So it would be like about 5 o'clock in the afternoon in South Africa. So she didn't have to get up at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning to watch the live stream. So Angieka, we're glad that you joined us. It was your idea to do this, and we're glad you're here. So the K1 visa process, guys, is not difficult. It's very easy. You don't have to stress it out. Just when you when you put your K1 visa package together, just make sure you don't put any errors in the paperwork. Make sure you don't put the passport number of your beneficiary incorrectly. Include a biographic page photo of your color photo. When you include photos of your passport for the K1 or bring it to the embassy, they got to be in color. Do not take a black and white copy of your biographic page of your passport. It must be in color, okay? Also, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, don't forget to make photocopies of the visa stamps in your passport in color when you go visit your beneficiary. Now, this is my 5th trip to Colombia, okay, to be with Karina. And when I submitted the K1 visa to the lockbox in Louisville, I made copies in color of my visa stamps. Immigration stamps my passport and gives me 90 days to enter the country. And then I got a 1-year visa permission, and then now I'm back on a 90-day visa passport, right? I'm going to make copies of my trip this time around for the green card application of the visa stamps. Angieca talking to Bud Garcia, emailed the NVC anyway. We got our anyway 2 in November, and it was ready status by December. We only got our welcome letter after that. Good advice from Angieca. Jason Mabry, since this will be my princess first international flight, I was going to treat her to first class because of the $9,000 flight economy it will be. Jason, we're flying economy, okay? We ain't flying first class on any plane, okay? The seats are a little bit bigger. Somebody pulls a curtain over so you can't see the first class passengers, and they get an extra bag of peanuts and an extra bag of pretzels. Save the money for your honeymoon and fly economy, not first class. Save that money, Jason, for your honeymoon, for the wedding, for a big dinner with your beneficiary. Don't give it to the airlines for bigger seats and an extra bag of peanuts. Bill Garcia, I was wondering if my fiance can do her interview in Thai because she is more comfortable speaking Thai. Sure, she can speak English, but her interview will be in Bangkok. She can do it in Thai. When she goes into the interview, ask the consular officer, please, that she wants to have the interview in Thai. My dad lives in Thailand, okay? My dad lives in Chiang Mai, Thailand. He's been living in Thailand for 27 years, since 1994 or whatever, somewhere back then. And he speaks Thai, and I live in Colombia part-time so far, and I learned Spanish, right? ¿Yo hablo español bien o no? Sí, perfecto. Oh, mi amor, gracias. So yeah, she can have her interview in Thai. Bud Garcia, thank you, Angela, for that information. And Gieka, my fiance was going to fly me first class too. Instead, I asked him to join me in South Africa with his financial documents. And Gieka, you are a very intelligent person. And we can fly back together, so we're doing that. And Gieka, that is excellent advice. Don't pay for first class plane tickets, guys. Don't do that. It's a lot of money, and you don't get much of a return from that expense. You get on the plane first. You get a bigger chair and an extra bag of peanuts. Cash flow. I love that name, cash flow. You're a capitalist, right? Cash flow. I love that name. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Bien. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué tal? Bien. ¿Cuántos tiempo tú tienes en Bogotá? How much time am I going to be in Bogotá before returning to the United States? As soon as I get an email from the embassy saying that Karina's passport is ready for pickup and her K1 visa is in her passport, we're going to go get the passport first. I'm going to check it for any spelling mistakes in the visa, make sure there's no errors. And then from there, we're going to go to the Avianca office in Bogotá, and we're going to buy plane tickets to Miami that day. We ain't hanging around. And then we're going to come back to the apartment and tell everybody, we're leaving on this day. If you want anything from our apartment, come and get it like today or tomorrow. And then her brothers and her family and her nieces and her nephews and will come over to the apartment, and we will have a free yard sale. It's going to be a free yard sale. Whatever they want, they can have, except for Karina, because she's mine. Karina is mío. Mía. Sí, Mía, lo siento, es femenina palabra. Okay. Bud Garcia, that is a beautiful place. Yeah, Chiang Mai. My dad, when my mom died, my dad was working in the Middle East. Believe it or not, he was working in Oman, and so he took a vacation to Thailand, and then retired from his job in Oman, and then he never came back. He retired to Thailand. He got married, he started a family, and got married, and built a house in Chiang Mai, and opened up a restaurant. Francois Livingston.
Yes, yes.
Francois, that is the first super chat in a week. We appreciate you, Francois. Francois, you are always supporting our channel, your channel, guys. Francois, super chat. Forever heartfelt thank you. No, Francois, we're going to always be here for you, okay? We're going to get you through this. Go out and enjoy yourselves before bidding Colombia goodbye soon. We will, Francois. With that super chat, here's what I'm going to take Karina to eat at Danielle Restaurant again. ¿Te gusta Danielle Restaurant? Danielle Restaurant is fish and chips for me and barbecue steak for Karina. And thank you, Francois. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. That's the first one, the first super chat we got in a week. But that's okay. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us on the channel. Jason Mabry, anyone here have experience with the medical exam in Accra, Ghana? Good question. Angieka, I'd rather fly economy together than fly first class alone. Angieka, I like the way you think, okay? You think like Karina, okay? Karina's a tax accountant. Karina's degreed up in tax accounting. And I was thinking, hey, maybe we should fly first class, Karina, no, waste of money. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's fly economy. Use the money. It's what, a 4-hour plane ride from Bogotá to Miami. Use the money for the wedding. We're gonna have a weekend somewhere. We're gonna have a weekend getaway somewhere. Bud Garcia, is it better I fly with her to the USA because we were flying to Seattle? Yeah, but it doesn't matter where you fly into in the United States. You need to accompany. You got to fly with I recommend you fly with your beneficiary, guys. How would you feel if you were leaving your home country that you lived in for your whole life, flying to a different country that speaks English, and then you have to enter an immigration office with an English-speaking immigration officer? It's scary enough flying to the United States not knowing what to expect, okay? So it's a good idea to accompany your beneficiary into the process. Take her with you in the U.S. citizenship line, get her checked into the Border Patrol, wait for her outside or him, and the process will go a whole lot smoother. Your beneficiary will be relaxed because he or she will know you're sitting right outside waiting for him or her to continue your journey in our constitutional republic. Francois Livingston, gotta go, but have yourself a great day. Francois, you have a great day, and thank you for your super chat. Thank you. I'm taking Karina to eat at Danielle Restaurant now. Jason Mabry, I have a similar question as Bud. Is it easier for my fiance to enter the U.S. with me or by her side? It's easier, yes. It's much easier. Your beneficiary, you land in Miami. Now, Karina is going to be lucky because everything's in Spanish and English in Miami Airport. All the signs are in Spanish and English, which just makes it easier for her. But I'll be with her. She's going to want to know, where do I go? What line do I get in? Do I get in this line? Do I get in this? What line do I get in? Do I get in the line, the U.S. citizen line, the green card line? She will hold my hand, and I will accompany her into the U.S. citizenship line in Miami Airport. She's going to be right by my side. I'll check in my passport to the Border Patrol officer. He's going to look and say, okay, Diego, welcome back to America. I'll say, well, thank you. I'm glad to be back. And then I'll say, Karina is my K1 visa prometida, and she needs to have her Border Patrol interview. He'll get on the phone and set that up right then. And he'll say, go here and wait here. I will accompany Karina to that office. She will go into the office, and in 10 minutes, she's going to be done. And then she's going to leave that office with permission to live in the United States, her I-94 being processed, and then we will fly either or drive from Miami to Pensacola. Let me see. John Wick. Hey, Diego, good news. My Dominican fiance has her K1 interview February 9th. Great. And I believe it's 10 to 15 days she'll be able to come to the U.S. That's right. You know it, man. Thanks for all your help. Much love. John Wick, you have got your process done exactly right. It takes about 2 weeks to get the K1 visa put in the passport in Santo Domingo, at the embassy in Santo Domingo. You don't have to translate any documents, okay, into Spanish or into English in the embassy in the Dominican Republic. Angieka, yes, I am the don't do that person. I like that. Our relationship too. That's why we are having a micro wedding. Good. I keep the costs down and saving up for the honeymoon. That's the way to do it. That's exactly how to do it. And make sure you include when you go on your honeymoon, make sure you include in the green card application the evidence of the honeymoon, the plane tickets, the hotel receipts, the dinner dates, and include in your green card application a little half-page letter explaining where you went on your honeymoon. What you know, okay? Bud Garcia, I wish my flight was 4 hours long. Bud Garcia, it's a long way from the United States to Bangkok, Thailand. It's a long way, okay? That's why I'm not going to Thailand. My dad has asked me a million times to go to Thailand, to go stay at his house with his family. I said, Dad, you come to the USA. And he did once. He came to Pensacola when I was in the Navy. I was stationed in Pensacola. And he came and stayed with me for a month in Pensacola, and I bought him a set of golf clubs as a gift for Christmas. But I'm not going to fly to Thailand. It's too far. My butt will die on a plane seat for 24 hours. Let's see. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Angieka, Diego, my fiance and I didn't have a big engagement. It's not necessary. He actually proposed twice. Wow. Twice is good. The first time was an adult practical conversation about where we wanted our relationship to go. Very good, Angieka. That's beautiful. Very nice. And Karina, look how calm Karina is. Look, Karina is like calm as a cucumber. This whole process, we've been together, 3 years? We were engaged for 2 years now. And our engagement party was December 24th of 2021. And look how calm she is. She's been waiting 2 freaking years to get to the United States so we can get married. And she is so calm and relaxed. Let me see. Susie Goldemez. Good morning, Diego and Karina. Susie, ¿cómo estás? Buenos días. Angieka, the second time was more romantic. Oh, okay. But still private, okay. Will this hurt my interview in any way? No, not at all. Also, my parents and family aren't attending the wedding. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You invite to your wedding who you want to bring at your wedding, okay? Who do you want at your wedding? Those are the people you invite. Angieka, I don't have it well documented because there was no one around. It's okay. Jason Mabry, can you explain the I-94 process? Okay, Jason Mabry, that is a fantastic question. When Karina lands in Miami with me, we get off the plane, economy class. All of the first class passengers got off the plane first. Get off the plane. Then we get off the plane and we go to the U.S. citizenship line. I check in, Karina checks in. She has her visa interview with the Border Patrol officer in Miami. The Border Patrol officer will open that top secret envelope that you are not allowed to open. He's going to pull out all the documents. He's going to check the visa. He's going to make sure that the visa and everything's correct. And then when Karina has passed her Border Patrol interview, he will tell her, okay, you're free to leave. Welcome to the United States of America. He will then tell her, don't forget to adjust your status to green card. When she leaves the office, the immigration officer, the Border Patrol officer will then create a form I-94 electronically. He will have Karina's passport number, her full name, her date of birth, the date of entry, and he will put some notes under there saying that Karina had a formal face-to-face interview with the Border Patrol officer. My name is Antonio Martinez, or whatever his name is. And then he will hit submit, and that will create a form I-94. Give it a week or so, give it about 3 or 4 days or a week. When you go to adjust your status for green card, go to the Border Patrol website, okay? And in the Border Patrol website, it's gonna say I-94 form. Click on it. Then it's gonna bring up a page where you can I will put Karina's full name, her passport number, and I believe the date of birth. I will hit submit, and it will then generate a form I-94. This is the day that Karina entered Miami, had her face-to-face interview with the Border Patrol officer, and I will print that form. I'll make 3 copies, and that will be proof that Karina legally entered the United States and didn't sneak around Mexico and come in across the border, illegally. I'm kidding, Karina. She's getting mad. She would never do that, okay? All you illegals in America, okay, you are making this process so much harder for people that do it the right way, okay? Don't do it. If you want to come to America, we welcome you, but go do it legally. So the I-94 is printed from the Customs and Border Patrol website. I made a video on how to do this. If you look through all the videos, I've made almost 800 videos. If you look through all the videos, look for the form I-94 video. If you got time, watch it, and it will explain it in more detail. Angieca, our flight is 25 hours. Woo, Angieca. Now, I remember when I went to South Africa, I was with my mom and dad, and we didn't fly. What we did was we took a cruise. We took a cruise from Cape Town, and we went to England, Southampton, on a cruise. It was cool. We crossed the equator. So, we did the equator thing where you get eggs thrown at you and you get, fresh fruit shoved down your throat, whatever. It was like crossing the equator. And we pulled into the Canary Islands for a couple of days to refuel and rest up. 25-hour plane ride, Angieca. Woof. Bud Garcia, but the flight is worth it to see my fiance. But I agree. Your beautiful fiance is in Thailand. You need to make those trips. No matter how far, how much it costs, how difficult, and how sore your backside gets from sitting on a plane seat, you need to do it. Cash flow. Buenas suertes. Good luck for you both. Thank you. We are waiting in Brazil. So cash flow. You're waiting for are you in Brazil right now? Are you in Brazil right now? Free yard sale. Yeah. We're gonna have a free yard sale at the family apartment here in Bogotá. As soon as I buy the plane tickets to Miami, okay, we're not going to tell our family until we've done that. We're not telling them a thing until we've bought the plane tickets, okay? Then Karina she's going to be on her phone. Llama mi hermano, aquí, en mi casa. Free stuff. Gracias, mueble para familia. Bud Garcia, so what I'm understanding, you will not get a copy of the I-94 at the interview. No, the only time you get a paper copy of the I-94 is if you enter the United States on foot. So let's suppose you're in Mexico and you're on a K-1 visa and you walk across the border into the United States. You show the Border Patrol officer your passport and your K-1 approval. You go into an office at the border, like, I don't know, in San Diego, somewhere like that. Then you sit down. That's when you get a paper I-94. But if you arrive via ship or via airplane, you get it. It's a computerized I-94, and you have to go online and you have to print it. I did it in 2016. I remember it was pretty. I didn't quite know how to do it. I put the name into the computer in the Border Patrol website, and it would say no record, no record, no record. And then I figured out that the Border Patrol officer had put the names in backwards. So I transposed the names, and it worked. And then popped up the I-94, and then I printed it. That was in 2016. The process hasn't changed at all, and it's 2023, almost 2024. So let me see here. Cash flow. Yep, free market capitalist, libertarian, Ron Paul. I like Ron Paul. I like his son also. They are freedom-loving people, and Ron Paul is he understands the Constitution. Ron Paul understands the United States Constitution better than probably all of the members of Congress combined, other than Matt Gaetz. Congressman Matt Gaetz, he understands the U.S. Constitution. Senator Paul understands the Constitution. There's only a few. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, she understands the Constitution. The rest of them, they seem to think that, the United States is a democracy, but it's not. The United States isn't a democracy. It's a republic, a constitutional republic. There is a huge difference between the two. James Madison, one of the founding fathers of our country, he wrote Federalist Paper number 10. And in Federalist Paper number 10, he explained exactly what a republic was and how we should avoid being a democracy. Venezuela is a democracy. They had a fraud election that confiscated 2/3 of the land that belongs to Guyana. That's how democracy works. A democracy is, let's suppose you're a family of 10 and you have a vote and it says, we're all going to take little Johnny's bike away from him. Okay, that's a democracy. In a republic, we all vote to take away little Johnny's bike, but little Johnny still has an opinion and can still appeal to keep it. That's the difference. So cash flow. I'm glad to see you on the channel, my capitalist friend, my libertarian friend. Angieca, brave boarding a ship in the Cape of Storms. Yeah, we did. We rode a ship from Cape Town to the Canary Islands and then to Southampton. Much better way to travel than a 25-hour plane ride. I spent 20 years in the Navy. I am done riding on ships. I'm done. Now, Karina wants to go on a cruise when she becomes a U.S. citizen. We'll go on a cruise. We'll go on a cruise to South America, to, let's say, Mexico, Belize, Cancun. We'll do that. But I'm not getting on a ship anymore that's going to last any longer than a week. Angieca, my biggest worry now is the interview and not messing that up. No, you won't mess that up. I'll print whatever we have and hope for the best. No, Angieca, you're good. You're going to be perfectly fine at the interview. Here's the secret to a successful K-1 visa interview. Here's the secret. Number one, if you don't know the answer to a question, say, I don't know. Say, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that question. Shut your mouth, wait for the next question. Number two, dress business casual. Business casual. Be business-like. Karina was business casual, okay? There was people waiting at the embassy in Bogotá for tourist visas. They looked like they just got run over by a semi-truck. All their jeans were torn, their clothes were dirty, their hands were dirty. It's like the guy just got done working on a car and then went to his visa interview. Don't do that. Business casual, and answer the questions, and with relaxed mind. if you submit a real strong K1 visa package to the to Louisville and then to the embassy to the service center, if you put together a real strong K1 visa package, the chances are you're only going to get 5 or 6 questions at the visa interview. Jason Maybury on the I-134, NA, all the blank spaces. Yes, that's right. That can be edited on a computer. Now, when you fill out the I-134, when I filled out Karina's I-134, there are some parts on that form that you cannot edit on a computer. So I put everything I could on the computer, NA, and then filled in all and then I printed the form, the 13-page form. On the spots which I needed to enter information on, but the computer wouldn't let me, I used a black ink pen. They asked me, where do I work? I filled in, I'm a real estate agent. What's my broker's name and address? I wrote in the black ink pen the name of my broker and his address. Okay? Some parts of the I-134, you have to use a black ink pen. Does the beneficiary sign it? No, you don't put NA in the beneficiary's signature. Just leave it blank. You can if you want to, but it's not applicable. Yeah, go ahead. Put NA in the beneficiary's signature. Yes, that's a good idea. I agree. Put NA on the beneficiary's signature page because it's not required. Only the sponsor signs the I-134. Bud Garcia, when my fiance gets her green card, can we go to a cruise? But not before that. That's right. If you go on a cruise and you're still waiting for your green card, the Border Patrol officer won't let your beneficiary back in the country. She'll be stuck on a cruise ship. I'm sorry, where's your green card? Where is your green card? I don't have it. Well, then you are going to be considered an abandoned green card holder and an illegal immigrant. And you'll be detained on the ship by Border Patrol. Do not go on a cruise without either U.S. citizenship or a green card. 10-year green card, I recommend, not the 2-year, the 10-year. Cash flow. Diego, could we find a furnished apartment in Bogotá, like 1 bedroom? And how much is it in dollars? Yeah, it would cost you probably about a fully furnished 1-bedroom apartment would cost you probably in southern Bogotá, probably $400 a month. Northern Bogotá, probably about $700 a month. Southern Bogotá is cheaper to live in southern Bogotá than northern Bogotá. And then you got central, which is could be maybe a little more expensive because it's close to to everything. Apartment, a furnished apartment. Quanto cost per month? It's about $400 a month in southern Bogotá. Angieca, my fiance's mom doesn't know the answer to that. Angieca, my fiance's mom doesn't know the answer to what? Bud Garcia, thank you. Angieca, when using this co-sponsor, I can't remember the form number. Okay, for a co-sponsor, where it asks for the beneficiary income and assets, is NA a suitable answer? Yeah. If you have a joint sponsor, okay, let's suppose you got a joint sponsor. You don't quite make enough money, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor. It's no big deal. Not everybody's making $1 million a year. If you don't make quite enough money, get a joint sponsor. The joint sponsor will fill out the I-134 for the visa interview. The joint sponsor will put his name. I am sponsoring this person, and then the beneficiary's name. And then the sponsor will fill out an I-134 also, just in case the embassy officer asks for both. Chances are they won't. Chances are they'll just ask for the joint sponsor, but fill out both. When you get to the United States and apply for the green card, the joint sponsor, the same person, will fill out Form I-864, Affidavit of Support. The sponsor will fill it out. The joint sponsor will fill it out. Let the immigration people decide which one they're going to take. All right? Let me see. Bud Garcia, thank you. No problem, Bud. GLK Doggo 1, can you get a social security number being a K1 visa in the U.S.? Yes. Get your K1 visa. You got your I-94 proof of legal entry to the United States. make a color photocopy of the K1 visa and the biographic page of the passport. Go apply for the Social Security number. My recommendation is to get married first. Let your beneficiary take the husband's last name, and then apply for the Social Security number through the adjustment of status process. Then that way the Social Security card will get mailed to your house with your beneficiary having your last name, my last name. But you can do it either way. Aquarius, hi Diego. Okay, a question from Aquarius. Now I was born in January, so I'm an Aquarius. Hi Diego, what type of questions do the border agents ask? Okay. These are the questions that you're going to probably get when you go into the Border Patrol office in Miami, Karina, for example. Did you get married in Colombia? No. Are you single? Yes. Have you ever been to the United States before? No, this is my first time. Have you ever applied for a visa before besides this K1 visa? No, this is my first time I ever been in America. Do you have any family members in the United States who are in the United States illegally? No. Let me see here. Did your sponsor accompany you on the flight from Colombia to the United States? Yes. Diego is sitting out here on the bench waiting on you. Okay. He may ask, what are your plans when you get to the United States? What do you plan to do when you get here? Do you have a job in mind? Do you have a job offer? Those are the kind of questions the Border Patrol officer is going to ask. But the main thing they may, and also this, the Border Patrol officer may say, let me see your phone, open your phone. I want to check your Facebook account or your Instagram account. Karina's going to go, okay, here's my phone. She'll open up the phone for him, go to her Facebook account. He'll look through the photos of her Facebook account. He'll go to her Instagram account. He'll look through the photos of her Instagram account. What's he going to see? Well, on our Facebook account, he's going to see Karina with me all over Colombia. Pictures of Karina and I, Northern Colombia, Western Colombia, Southern Colombia, Eastern Colombia. We've explored this whole place. So her Facebook account basically has 3 years worth of pictures of Karina and I and her family in Colombia. Then he's going to go to her Instagram account, and he's going to be looking through the pictures on her Instagram account. He's going to see pictures of cakes. And cakes, tortas, cakes. Karina is a cake designer. She uses her Instagram account for clients to send her pictures of cakes that they want made, and she'll make the cake from the picture. That's it. That is it, Aquarius, for the Border Patrol. Cash flow. Last time I was there, it was still $1 to 2,500 pesos. Now it's about $1 to 3,900 to 4,100 pesos. Hardy Kaur. Hello, sir. A second letter of intent is needed for interview or from both sides. Yeah. I wrote a second letter of intent to get married for Karina. Karina wrote a second letter of intent to get married for me. We signed it about a week before the visa interview. She took the letters of intent to get married, the second one to the visa interview, and some consular officers were asking K1 visa applicants for the second letter. They didn't ask us. They already knew our relationship was strong. They already knew how real it was. So they didn't ask us for the second letters of intent to get married. But they were in her cartera, in her maleta, very ready to go in case they wanted them. GLO Doggo 1, in my embassy, they said I need the I-864. The I-864 is an affidavit of support for a green card application, not a K1 visa. But, like I said, every immigration officer has their own way of doing things. It could have been a new person. So if the immigration officer asks for the I-864, which is the affidavit of support for a green card, not a K1, give them the I-864. But I don't know what embassy was that, because that's not the right form for a K1 visa. Angieca, he was making a lot of money when we filed. Okay, but now we need a co-sponsor. No problem. I am unemployed. Don't worry about it. Immigration don't care what your employment status is, Angieca. You're the beneficiary. You're worried that with that DS-160 too feels bad. No. NGECA, immigration don't care if you have a job in South Africa. They don't care. All they care about is how much money does your joint sponsor make? And is it sufficient for the family size? That's all they care about. That's it. So relax. GLK Doggo 1, they don't allow phones in my embassy. Okay. Alex Mo, Diego, a little off topic, but what's your advice for trying to buy your first house? Okay. I'm thinking North Carolina. I'm from New York. Blessing to you and Karina. Okay. If you're in New York, number one, you're making a fantastic decision to leave New York because the property taxes in New York State are absolutely insane. Okay. The government in New York State are stealing money from the citizens like bank robbers robbing a Hertz truck. So number one, good job on getting out of New York. Number two, North Carolina is a beautiful state. The taxes are very low. The economy is very strong. And if you're looking to buy a house in North Carolina, you got to think about how big of a house do you want? How big? The bigger the house, the more expensive the house, the more the taxes are going to be every November. So think about family size. Think about, location. Do you have a family? Do you have to have a house that's going to be close to a high school? Or can you buy a house in the countryside where you don't have to worry about transporting kids to school or to get into Walmart or close to medical, close to hospitals? So, my advice to buy your first house would be, number one, save up enough for a deposit, for a down payment. You got to put down at least 20%. I think it's like 20%. In North Carolina and Florida, 20%. But save up a good down payment. Find a nice mid-sized house, 1,500 square feet, and keep your property taxes low. Think about where you want to live, close to schools or not, close to the supermarket, the Central Commercial, etc. Alex Mo, by the way, visa in hand already. Thank you for all your help, Diego. Y saludos, Karina. Espero que todo les siga bien a ustedes suerte. Gracias, Alex. Thank you. We appreciate you, Alex, and we're glad we helped you get through this K1 visa. And GLK Dog Santo Domingo, beautiful country, the Dominican Republic. Jason Mabry, before the K1 was approved, we applied for a B2 visa, but we didn't follow through because of the wait. No, it's a 2-year wait for a tourist visa here in Colombia. Should we mention that if asked about applying for another visa, paid visa fee, no interview? So, okay, when you fill out the DS-160, Jason Mabry, they're going to ask you, have you ever applied for a visa before? You're going to put yes. And then in the remarks block there, or at the interview, you can say you applied for a B2 visa, but the wait was so long, you didn't follow through with it. And so you just didn't follow through with it. They'll ask you that on the DS-160 application. Cash flow. Buy a multi-family fourplex, live in one apartment, and rent out the other 3. Cash flow. You're always thinking like a capitalist, man. I love it. But just remember, cash flow. If you do that, I don't think you can claim homestead exemption on the apartment complex. So you're going to pay full property tax on that property. You can't get your homestead. You can't homestead it unless you can divide it and just homestead the one apartment that you live in. April Flower, hi Diego. What's going on, April? Okay, guys, I promised Karina I would talk for an hour because she wants to make breakfast, and so I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it short. Today's Sunday. Tomorrow's Monday. Tomorrow night, I'll be back with the beautiful Karina to continue with this chat. Cash flow. Yes, you can only put 3.5% down. Yes, you can. Okay. Jason Mabry, we are looking at homes too. USDA loan seems to be the best for financial reasons. Any info on that? I can't give you any info on loan advice, Jason. I can't do that. I'm certified. I'm a registered real estate agent in Florida. It doesn't reciprocate to other states. Okay. Okay, Angieka. She said, thanks for everything. We're here for you, Angieka. April Flower, I'm about to change my job. I haven't gotten my approval yet. Do you think it was a wise decision to change my job now? Only if the money is bigger. If you change your job and you're making more money, change your job and update your new job on the I-134. If you're not going to make more money, don't do it. Alex Mo, cash flow, that's stinking smart. Angieka, April Flower should be fine. My fiance changed jobs in his last stage. Angieka gets the last word. We did the live stream for our friends in South Africa, East Africa, North Africa, and West Africa. And we will see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. Bogota time.